Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much. We still don't know where the president is, so that's pretty cool. But we are here, still 5 minutes behind, but we're here and we are ready, and hopefully the president will be here soon.
He said he would be joining us by 4:10, so we have confidence. In the meantime, there's one defender that we haven't kept up with named Jason that we can keep up with.
Can you?
All of you watching live, you can put questions in the chat right now that you want to either A, ask the president, or B, ask Jason, but specify whom you're asking.
Yeah, and you
Um,
can ask me anything. It can be any question you'd ever want to ask, and I'll answer it because I
Jason,
have no
tell
shame.
me the top three best Marvel movies.
Top three. Oh, that's easy. Okay, so the original Avengers,
Yep, I
the
agree.
OG,
Beat
that
movie.
is easy. The second one's got to be the original Iron Man. Original Iron Man is so good.
I would put that above the original Avengers, but again, we have the same top
Wow,
three.
okay.
But
Okay, and then three, let's see. I gotta think of all the Marvel movies that exist.
also, are you recording?
Of course not. So hold on.
It's okay.
I am now. Okay, so of those two, third, I don't know. I'd probably go for I don't actually know. I can't even think like because I don't want to say the first Captain America. I'll go Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is really good.
I would take the OG Guardians of the Galaxy.
See, those are like good, but they're not like oh, actually Thor Ragnarok is my third one. Never mind.
Thor Ragnarok would be in my top five, as would probably Black Panther. I think would
See,
round up my
I
top
thought
five.
I thought Black Panther was overrated, but was it a good quality movie? Yes. Was it as good as other Marvel movies? No, not even close. Also, we do
Well,
have a question already
for
from
who?
Adam Hoyer saying, "Jason, do you miss working at Dort?" Actually, I do. Yes,
Say no more.
because
Tell us what you did and why you miss it.
okay, so I'm a computer science person, so I worked at computer services. You probably saw me this semester looking super weird in the window as you walked by the science building. Erik Hoekstra has now entered the waiting room, so we can add him in a second. But I worked at computer services. Yes, I miss it. And now, for what we've all been waiting for, the man, the myth, the legend.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well, and you guys?
Very
I'm
good.
doing very well as well.
Am
Thank
I
you for
still?
joining.
No problem. Am I still in the holding it pen, or are we live?
No, we
We
are
are live.
live.
Hey, that's good. I assumed I would be in the holding pen a little longer.
No, I
Well,
mean, we were just killing time, so. And no one really wants to learn about me when they could learn more about you, so.
Ha! That's awesome. How are you guys doing?
I mean,
really
good.
well.
Yeah.
Really well, yeah. And are you in your office right now?
I am. Yep. That's the seal behind me in my office. You guys need to, when we get back to campus in the fall, come up here and we can do a live edition from the actual office.
That would be
Okay,
amazing.
sounds good.
I would be all for that.
I,
Jason, are you ready to dive into the interview?
Oh, I am beyond ready here. So, I mean, obviously, what I want to know is like, what does the day in the life look of? So you get up every morning, you go to work. What does it look like? What exactly do you do as the president?
I can give you the pre-COVID world, or I can give you the current world, or I can give you a review of the last 8 years. But I'll try to give you the so um, my job is one of the best I've ever had. I'm 52. I've had about 12 different jobs. This is the best. The variety, I think, is what looks like more than anything else. Being able to just walk down to the grill, grab a sandwich, sit down at the turquoise table or at a random table where I just want to meet some students and be able to do that. That's like getting paid for me, which is awesome, to be able to do those kinds of things. Right before spring break ended, right, I was down in Phoenix, Arizona. I had some meetings with one of our departments, CASE, the Center for the Advancement of Christian Education, was meeting down there with some people, and I could tie on the backside of that a trip down to Tucson to go visit the softball and baseball teams. And I've been doing that every spring break. So, the variety of stuff in this job. And last week, Wednesday and Thursday, was 2 days of board meetings with 24 of our board of trustees from all over the country. It was our first time ever doing it on Zoom. So it goes all the way from, I just as I signed on to you guys, I was on a call with an accountant in downtown Washington, D.C., who's helping us put together a proposal for a loan application for the U.S. Department of Agriculture that's going to help us hopefully build a new commons someday. So the job jumps around a lot, from working on the day-to-day and travel and those kinds of things. So the coolest part about my job is I've got a really great team in all the areas of the college. So my day is really touching all of the areas of the college and making sure that I'm supporting and encouraging those leaders that take care of student services and athletics and academics and fundraising and marketing. So I'm just, don't tell anybody, but I don't actually do a whole lot.
So you just, yeah, okay. We won't tell anyone. This isn't live, so don't worry about it.
No, but it's true. I mean, being and that's not different than a CEO of a major corporation as well. When you're in that role, you're the one who has to, number one, see the whole breadth. So you can't go into much detail on any particular thing, because otherwise you're bogged down and you're forgetting something else. The other metaphor I've heard a lot is they often talk about that the CEO is the driver of the bus, right? Sitting in the front of the bus driving. One of my mentors actually gave me this metaphor. The role of a president is actually be in a car. If you think about like the choir tour, right? The choir tour has the big bus. Then there's always that lead car that actually is able to take turns differently and that type of thing. I actually think that the president really needs to be, in some ways, the person in the car ahead of the bus, scouting the future and looking ahead and sending back messages to say, I see this, I see that. Well, I'm not sure if that's a helpful metaphor or not.
No, that makes sense to me. So you're like, yeah, you're the truck that has like wide load on the back, and you're letting the massive truck
scout. I'm the university is the wide load. I'm the scout car ahead.
Yeah,
kind of looking. Yeah, no, that's a way to talk about it. So
that's awesome. So a lot of the people who watch this show are graduating in May, and we want to know, what is the difference between somebody who will graduate from here and be great at their job and somebody who will graduate from here and be outstanding at their job?
Thing one is to try to imagine that you are sitting in either whoever your supervisor is or their supervisor's is seat, and say, what could I do today or this month or this year to try to help move the organization ahead beyond just doing my job? I think that the difference that I've seen in my career, people that are good in their job versus outstanding, are the ones that somehow are able to see beyond just their function. If you're a social worker, absolutely take care of your clients with awesomeness, but find out, like, what are the challenges coming ahead for our agency in terms of a grant or a donor, or the next level of social service policy. Or if you're in sales, sell your stuff. Or if you're in, like, I think of John DeGroat. Many of you know John. He's in charge of he works in campus ministry primarily with music, and he's leaving. But the reason I love John is that he never saw his job as just doing chapel music and doing Thursday night praise and worship. John was always looking about, I have an office in student services, so I want to find out what's going on with our students generally. But he was also thinking about our donor relationships or what's happening in the classroom. If you can see beyond your job description as an employee and see a bigger organizational whole, I think that differentiates a good employee from an outstanding employee generally. The other personal attribute that I think differentiates a good employee versus an outstanding one is continuing to learn. Barb and I, the seniors just got their graduation boxes. And I think next week, Barb and I are going to do an Instagram live when we walk the graduates through. There's a little card in your graduation boxes called Words of Wisdom. There's 10 things that over time, Barb and I have said, every graduate, I want to make sure they know these things before they leave. And we're going to walk them through that. But one of those is be a lifelong learner. I think people that assume I graduated with a bachelor's, so therefore I'm like awesome for the rest of my life, and they never learn anything new, become very average to poor employees over time in an organization. They also become very uninteresting people to be around. So lifelong learner and see a bigger organizational scope of work than just your job.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was a
a
good
super
answer.
good answer.
Now, this next question's kind of like a deeper one and kind of related to the first question that I asked, but looking back at the last 5 years of your job, what would you say are some of the biggest highlights that you've seen?
Hmm. You know, it's hard not to look at programs and buildings, but those programs and buildings only really mean anything in the lives of people. So, you know, we started 3 years ago this new ProTech program at Dort, and the seeds of ProTech have been at Dort since we were founded. There's this really little sentence in the educational task of Dort. So when the college was founded, they said, we need to write down, like, biblically how we're going to be a Christian college and why a Christian college should even exist. And there's this one little line in there. And they said, conceivably, no occupation, vocation, or station in life should be outside of Dort's educational task. But as I got to be president, and this was about 8 years ago, I went around the country and I got asked this question. He said, there's a lot of really good Christian colleges, and they all can offer this degree or that degree or this degree. Dort's a little unique in that we've got, for instance, engineering, we've got ag, but otherwise, most Christian colleges, they're just differences in geography and maybe a little bit of a differences in a little bit of the theology. But somebody asked me this question. He said, if we really believe that, for instance, mechanics or plumbers do their work in a God-glorifying manner, how come there's not a Christian college that helps make mechanics or plumbers? And all of a sudden it hit me, and I went back to those words in the educational task of Dort that said no vocation, occupation, or station in life should be precluded, because from a Reformed worldview, a plumber that does his work to the glory of God is the same as a pastor or an attorney or an accountant or an engineer or a musician, but there wasn't any Christian colleges doing that kind of education. So to me, ProTech is probably one of the coolest things. And, you know, again, it comes out, it's not a matter of the program, it's about the people. And I think of, I had a student's parent, and this student graduated from Dort. He'll know who he is. I won't embarrass him by saying who it is. But I remember the first year we entered the ProTech students, his mom came up to me in tears, and she said, thank you for starting this program. She said, we always knew our son wanted to be more of that hands-on person, that he struggled in junior high and high school with more academic work. And so we knew he was always going to go to a vocational school because that's how God had gifted him. But we never could imagine that he could be on a residential campus with other Christian kids like this, because there's no vocational school out there like that. This kid then has been married since, or is about to be married. Now I'm starting to give away who it is, but and took advantage of the 2 years that he was here in terms of the spiritual formation, that there's no vocational school out there. I would say that over the last 5 years, clearly that program, and then the related, you know, on-campus lab that we have for ProTech, on the farm, those kind of things. That's probably the thing that I think is the biggest deal that Dort's done to differentiate ourselves from other schools that are also Christian universities.
No, thank you. And also, like, everybody at Dort, just so you know, from a student's perspective, is super appreciative of how much, like, consideration you give to all of these things and how, like, rigorous you apply yourself, and then it makes such a big difference in so many lives. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Actually, the reason ProTech is so personal for me, I went to Trinity, one of Dort's sister schools. It's not as good as Dort, but I didn't go to Dort for a variety of reasons. But I was convinced I had to be a pastor, so I was pre-sem my entire time. And all of a sudden, in the middle of my senior year, I realized that I would be a terrible pastor, and so I went into business. And I think I had convinced myself that to serve Christ faithfully meant being a pastor, even though I kind of was always taught that wasn't true, that you could serve God as a business person. And so for me, it's very personal that God needs to be glorified in every occupation. I think of, journalism. I think of engineering. I think of, and they're just as important as any pastor or any evangelist. But we got to we know that up here. We got to change it in here, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna take a pretty big transition in tone, just so you know. So just brace yourself. All right. So if the founders of Dort had left a magical horn that when you blow it, the legends of Dort history all come to your aid, would now be the time to blow it?
Yes, because they have. I mean, so Dort's confessionally reformed, right? And that's the promise we have. I mean, when you read in it's the Heidelberg Catechism, what do we mean by the providence of God? And there's something in there, and again, I can't quote it. You can look it up. It's as if God, by his fatherly hand, provides everything we need for what challenges we face. As if by his fatherly hand, something beautiful in there. So really, I mean, even though this is awful, right? I mean, no students on campus and had to deal with this and that. I mean, the magical horn is always there. That's why I love being, a Christian. That's why I am a Christian, because if I'm not a Christian, I got to face something like COVID. It honestly seems like, there must be, the world's going to end. Well, it may, it's going to end one of these days. And if that's God's plan and that it ends in the middle of COVID, great. If we get through COVID and we figure out a vaccine, and I don't know what it felt like I just watched 1917, the movie this weekend, Barb and I did. You talk about when it was time to blow the horn, World War I, World War II. But as Christians, that horn is always available to us. It's the horn of prayer, and it's the hope of that God is taking care of us. But these are bad days, but they're probably not the worst we've faced. And if you're not a Christian, you expect the world to just get better and better and better and better. It's actually not what Scripture says. In this world you will have trouble, but fear not, I have overcome the world. Sorry, theological answer to an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's good. That was really good.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned that you just watched 1917, but instead of like a movie, is there like a show that you've watched in the past, like on Netflix and TV, that just recently that you just really liked, and like why you liked it?
I've got so one of my jobs as president is to sign lots of things. Now, when I was signing diplomas, I tweeted and Instagrammed about this last week. That is something that I am 100% focused on. So I just signed all the diplomas for all the graduates. That is something that I am here quietly in my office, and I honestly do pray over them. But I've got these other documents that I just have to sign and sign and sign and sign. They're scholarship awards. They're blank pieces of paper that we're going to send out to prospective students to say, hey, you got a scholarship for this and scholarship. So I just have to sign a couple thousand of them. So while I was signing those, I had Tiger King.
Mm-hmm. Great show.
On my desktop, because people told me that sort of sociologically, I had to understand Tiger King. So it was a multitasking deal. And so I watched the first 4 episodes of Tiger King for 4 hours while I signed lots of other things. I wouldn't say I processed it, but I did watch it.
What'd you think of what you did process? Were you like, so I haven't seen it. Would you recommend me watch it?
Only if you have if you were like on a flight to, overseas, and you like, I can't sleep. The person next to me is poking me all the time, and I had too many cups of coffee and I can't sleep, and like you're scrolling through on your seat back. Fine, watch Tiger. It's something. But I would not invest time in Tiger King. It was kind of the rage, so I said, fine, I'll put it on as I sign other documents. I caught Parasite right before COVID. It was like the week. I loved Parasite. That was fantastic. Yeah, no, those are the things I've been checking out.
Hmm.
What other movie did I get the other day? I got to think about it. It was a Redbox deal, and we just watched it 2 nights ago. A lot of time, I've been DVRing a lot of Faraday. If you're a golfer, you know who David Faraday is. I love watching his little interviews.
Yeah, awesome. So we're gonna slowly close out the interview and then shift into the activity that we have planned for you. But is there anything that you want to say directly to Defender Nation through this medium?
And it can be anything.
Yeah. Know that we miss you. You know, this campus just isn't the same. These months are not supposed to be like this. You know, don't doubt that God's got you. You know, I'm particularly encouraged. Our numbers for pre-registration are higher than they've ever been. So my sense is that everybody wants to be back here. If COVID has cost you financially in some way that you may not be able to return because of finances, call us. Let's talk about it. We've started a fund called the Hope Fund. We've got a couple of donors that are going to match gifts to that. So we are going to have some resources. It's not unlimited. And you know, I get it. College is a big investment. Again, it's one of the best investments I think you can make is in yourself, in terms of readying yourself for service in God's kingdom. But if you are having financial issues, call us. Don't just go somewhere else that you assume is going to be cheaper. Transferring, you will probably take you longer to get your degree. We want to stand with you, and we'll come alongside you with the Hope Fund. A lot of you are freshmen, and you went to high school with other kids, and now you're probably back in your home communities. A couple things. One is compare stories with them about their freshman year so far at their institution. And if you find out things that they love at their institutions that we're not doing, bring them back and let us know, because we want to improve. Two, if your friends are saying, I really should have gone to Dort because things, you know, my institution doesn't have anything like Keeping Up with the Defenders, or
Right.
Yes.
wonderful things like that. Encourage freshmen, sophomores that you went to school with who are not getting good instruction, who don't have strong student engagement. Ask them to transfer. We'll find a way to fit them in this fall. That may seem very predatory of me. Well, you know what? I love what we do here. I love our professors. I love our staff. I love our students. I think we got something good going here. I want more students to come. So help us get high school kids. Tell them how awesome it is. We'll get it back, and we'll get back on track.
Great. Now, one more question before we begin the activity. Now, this is kind of an opinionated question. So, the last 4 years we've won #1 in student engagement. Would you say it's a coincidence that those 4 years is when Tom and I have attended Dort?
What is it? Causality or coincidence is not the same as causality, something like that. If you've taken, you know, research methods from like Laura Lynn Helming, she could show you, you know, that it's probably more coincidence than causality. But I will say this, programs like this, you guys know that I have all the freshmen over for dinner, and I usually get questions about the best pranks at Dort and those kind of things. I would say this, that students are just as much a part of student engagement than the attitudes of the professors and that type of thing. And it's activities like this that do make me believe that Dort has some special sauce going on that's student generated. You know, the Blades, for instance, was a student club that started. Now it's a 50-year tradition at Dort. It's awesome. I want to see things keep going like this. So I hope that, yeah, you guys are making this out of COVID loneliness, and I think it's awesome. But I want things like this to be happening all the time so that we've got that engagement and interaction. So maybe there's a bit of, I mean, we'd have to run the R squared on it, but maybe there's a small variable that you and Tom could take credit for.
We'll take that.
I'm saying there's a chance.
Oh, Dumb and Dumber, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I need to tell you this. I got to tell you a funny story about you telling me I've still got a chance. I actually texted that to a U.S. Senator this week.
Okay.
I'm going to actually prove it to you and show you on my phone.
Weird flex, but okay.
So Senator Ben Sass, he's a senator from Nebraska. He's a good friend. He's working for us in this Senate to get some relief passed for us for Christian colleges and small colleges. And so he texted me this last week. Let me look at the date, Tuesday. He said, here's my mixed news. We definitely have a chance yet, but there's some legal hurdles I'm still working through with the US Senate. So there's my text to Senator Ben. I actually texted him Dumb and Dumber. So you're telling me there's a chance. So anyway, for what it's worth. That's the only reason I knew that that's where it came from. So hopefully Senator Sass is working for our behalf in Washington, D.C. to get all smiles. He used to be president at Midland University down in Nebraska in our athletic conference. So he understands the challenges of small colleges. So he's working to get some particular wording in some of the COVID relief bills that are going through. He's a good guy.
And I'm sure that Senator Sass is like a regular viewer of this show as well.
I would think so.
I mean, I'm sure that he appreciates the shout out. For your activity, I'm going to ask you a series. So Jason doesn't know these questions either, but I'm going to ask you a series of would you rather questions.
All right.
And you two have to decide what you would do. Okay.
I like it.
As long as we can keep it appropriate for, full viewing.
Yeah, it is. Would you rather eat the best hamburger in the world or the best pizza in the world?
Ooh, that's tough. Wait, okay, question. This might not be part of it, but is it a full pizza or is it a slice of pizza?
You get the whole pizza.
Oh, I'm taking the pizza.
I'm with him. I'm pizza.
Okay.
Because it depends on how big because if the burger's like this big, but you get an entire pizza, like you could save that. Eat a slice, throw it in the refrigerator, and then put it in the oven the next day, eat another slice. You could make that last a while.
You, Jason. I think, comfortable with that answer.
All right. Question 2. Would you rather have every traffic light you're approaching turn green for you or never have to stand in a line again?
I know my answer, Jason. I'm not a line guy.
I mean, especially at the current moment, lines are not great. Like when you have to wait in line to do anything right now. But I would have to agree. I don't mind sitting at traffic lights usually.
The fruits of the spirit of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, self-control. I'm in a line. The Holy Spirit's really working hard on me. Green lights, red lights, I can handle. I can always, go to Waze and get a way around.
No, I agree with you on that.
Right. So
no
whenever
lines,
you go to the
baby.
grill,
No lines.
Right. So when you go to the grill, you don't want to have to wait. You just want to be able to walk in, get your food, and leave.
Now, grill line's a whole different story because there's always people to talk to and that kind of thing. But when I'm in line at trying to check my bags at an airport.
Oh, true.
Well, and Disneyland too. If you go to Disneyland, you have a 2-hour wait for a ride. You could just walk right through. That'd be ideal.
Yeah. We can always put up with the lights. I'm with Jason.
All right. Question 3. Would you rather have your legs be the size of your fingers or your fingers be the size of your legs?
Yes.
Do you want both?
No, I don't know. That's tough.
I gotta go. How do you have a conversation with a bunch of legs? That's.
Yeah, I think fingers as legs would probably be better. Can we still walk?
Fingers could, yeah, you gotta. I mean, I've seen some of these marathon runners, like from Kenya and that kind of thing. Some of their legs are about the size of my fingers, but they're doing good. So I'm gonna go with legs like fingers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that as well.
Imagine just like buttoning my shirt.
Yeah, I think that'd be impossible.
Legs as fingers.
All right, you guys have agreed on every one. All right. Would you rather have all of your clothes fit you perfectly or have the most comfortable blankets and sheets in existence?
I gotta go for clothes.
Clothes, absolutely. I sleep in enough hotel rooms. I sleep great, and I got some really bad, sheet stories. But if my clothes aren't good, no.
I agree. We're like the same person. That's why every answer is exactly the same.
Hey, someday there's going to need to be somebody sitting in this chair, Jason.
Yep.
So,
I'll take over
so far,
eventually.
you're 4 for 4 on the right answer.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather have your grandma's hairstyle or first name?
First name.
First name.
What were your grandma's first names?
Mickey for one of mine.
What's that, Jason?
I was going to say Mickey was one of mine, and I'm okay with a name like Mickey.
Absolutely.
And
I'm guessing that wasn't her baptized name.
No, I don't think so.
I'm going to just look here to see if I've got a picture of my grandma on my phone. I think I do. And you're pretty much sure that you don't want here. This is, I think, is my great grandma. I could go for that hairstyle.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's actually not that different than my hairstyle, but that's my great grandma. So I'm going to, yeah, mine were Lena. I don't think I could be a Lena. And Janicha. I don't think I could be Jan. I was thinking of Janicha because Jan van Vliet, Jan van Vliet, our econ professor. So I could probably go with Jan. I could go with name.
Okay.
5 for 5. Crushing it.
Jason, I want to throw this one out to Keeping Up with the Defenders. I do think that when I give up as president, I think it would be really cool to have the next president at Dort be a Dort alumnus. So whether that's Jason,
pat myself on the back here. That's going to be me.
No, I'm not putting you up for it, dude, but I think that that's one of the things that I hope. I won't be choosing, but it'd be really cool to have a Dort alumna or alumni be in this chair in the future. Just a little wish.
And are all of our would you rather questions the interview questions that would be asked to this person?
Yes.
I wasn't asked.
I'm going through the interview right now, actually. This is just the pre-interview. And apparently I'm nailing it.
Would you rather be on an airplane between two arguing passengers, so your middle seat and they're arguing with each other, or next to a screaming infant?
Arguing people.
I got the infant.
Ooh, because like you can end the argument, I feel like, but like an infant.
No, see, I would start playing with the kid, show magic tricks. I'd get him to stop crying. Arguing people, I just 2 elbows.
Ooh.
And that'd probably get arrested. So I'd take the infant every time on that one.
Well, man, now we're 5 for 6. Looks like I failed the interview.
All right, this is the last one. Would you rather have to have everything you say rhyme, or have to sing everything you say?
Sing.
I'd sing.
I actually I like singing anyway, so I mean it would work out.
I'm not a good singer, but I love to sing. But rhyming, no.
All right. I mean, that's all I had. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us and playing with our game and endorsing Jason.
Yep. Future president.
Quasi. It was a general encouragement to defend our nation, but anyway.
Okay. Well, fair enough. All right. Jason, were there any questions from the audience?
No, but Damon did say that he thinks that Dort special sauce that we mentioned earlier was in fact the Defender sauce. So
mayo plus French dressing. Who knew?
Yeah, I would have never guessed that actually, and it does taste very good. I have made it myself, so.
Who knew? No, Nick's been killing it on those. Those are fun. Defender Crunch.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, no.
But other than that, we are good.
But from my heart of hearts, miss you guys, the 2 of you personally, but also all the students. And yeah, grads, I think I've taken about 100-ish pictures over in the founder's room. I hope to be taking pictures for the next couple of years whenever this graduating class comes back to campus. I've got the robe and I've got the bling here in the office. We'll strap it on and take pictures, please.
Would you
go ahead?
Would you be willing to take a picture with like role reversal where I'm wearing your bling
And you're wearing a regular robe and gown and
I
hat.
think somewhere like in the Belgic Confession or the Heidelberg Catechism, that's a violation. I don't think we can do that.
Okay, fine.
A Reformed thing.
It's too
I'll
bad.
allow it.
There's not really special powers in the medallion, but I don't think I'm supposed to do that.
Fair enough. Well, thank you for joining us. We really, really appreciate it.
Guys, I think this is a cool idea, and yeah, to the listeners out there, God's blessings, and this too will pass, and we will be back together, and we trust that God's providential blessings will accrue to all of us, even as He shapes us through this time. So good to see you both.
Yeah, you too.
Good to see you too. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right. We will be back on Wednesday with another amazing episode.
We will.
So feel free to tune in. Just to address something, people were upset with me specifically. I don't know if Jason got a hate message.
Nope. No, everybody loves me, so I don't get any hate.
The reason we did 2 guys in the last episode and not a guy and a girl is because we did reach out to 2 or 3 different women to be on our show that Wednesday, and they all either didn't respond or said they couldn't. So we had 2 guys. But this Wednesday's episode is 2 women. So the ratio remains equal, and we remain perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Amen.
Okay.
But
We'll see you
Yep.
Wednesday.
Sounds good. Everybody, thank you for watching. See you Wednesday. Boom.